Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to share with you the art, the joy, and the simple satisfaction of making the classic fluffy American pancake completely from scratch, in a way that is easy, approachable, and rewarding. Pancakes are one of those foods that instantly bring comfort. Whether it's a Sunday morning tradition, a special breakfast for guests, or just a personal indulgence when you want to treat yourself, there is nothing quite like cutting into a tall stack of warm, golden pancakes and watching the steam rise before pouring over that generous drizzle of maple syrup. The American pancake has become iconic across the globe for its thickness, its fluffiness, and the way it manages to be both hearty and light at the same time. While there are countless ready-made mixes on the market, I firmly believe that there is something far more satisfying about creating them from scratch. Not only do you gain control over the flavor, the texture, and the ingredients, but you also build a deeper connection with the food you are serving. When we talk about making pancakes from scratch, the good news is that it is easier than most people think. At its core, a pancake is a simple combination of flour, eggs, milk, butter, sugar, and a leavening agent such as baking powder. Each of these ingredients contributes something essential, and when they come together in the right balance, you end up with a batter that produces pancakes that are fluffy, tender, and delicious. Flour is the foundation, the structure that holds everything together. Eggs add richness, help with binding, and contribute to that slightly custard-like interior that makes pancakes so satisfying. Milk brings the necessary liquid to thin out the batter and provide moisture, while butter adds flavor and tenderness, giving that subtle richness that elevates the pancake beyond a bland bite of flour. Sugar sweetens and enhances browning, while the leavening agent is the true hero of the fluff factor, creating bubbles of air that expand as the pancakes cook, resulting in that soft, airy rise that everyone craves. But ingredients are only half of the story. The way we handle them is just as important. Making fluffy pancakes requires paying attention to technique, and the best part is that these techniques are not complicated. They are small, mindful steps that make a world of difference. One of the most common mistakes people make is overmixing their batter. When flour comes into contact with liquid, gluten begins to form, and while some gluten is necessary to give pancakes structure, too much of it makes them dense and chewy instead of light and fluffy. That is why the rule of thumb is to mix your wet and dry ingredients together only until they are just combined. You might see a few lumps in your batter, and that is perfectly fine, even desirable. Those lumps will cook out, and your pancakes will thank you with tenderness. Now, if we want to take our pancakes from simply good to truly great, there are a few little tricks that can enhance the fluffiness even further. One of the easiest adjustments is to separate the egg yolks from the whites. By whipping the whites until they reach soft peaks, and then gently folding them back into the batter, you introduce an incredible amount of air. That air expands on the hot pan, and the result is pancakes that rise beautifully, almost like little cakes. Another wonderful adjustment is to use buttermilk instead of regular milk. Buttermilk adds a gentle tang that balances the sweetness, but more importantly, its acidity reacts with baking soda or baking powder to create additional lift. If you don't have buttermilk on hand, you can easily make a substitute by adding a splash of lemon juice or vinegar to a cup of milk and letting it sit for a few minutes. This quick trick creates the same effect and gives you an instant upgrade. The consistency of the batter also matters. A thicker batter will produce pancakes that are tall and fluffy, while a thinner batter will spread out more and give you flatter pancakes. If you want that classic American pancake height, keep your batter on the thicker side, but make sure it is still pourable. One way to test is to lift a spoonful of batter and let it drop back into the bowl. If it falls in a slow ribbon that mounds up before settling, you have the perfect consistency. Now let us move into the cooking process itself. The pan you use should be preheated to the right temperature. This step is often overlooked, yet it is crucial. If your pan is too hot, the outside of your pancakes will brown too quickly, leaving the inside undercooked. If it is too cold, the pancakes will dry out before they have a chance to rise. The best way to check is to sprinkle a few drops of water onto the pan. If they dance and sizzle before evaporating, you know you are at the right temperature. Grease the pan lightly with butter or oil, but remember that less is more. You don't want the pancakes to fry in fat. You only want to create a smooth, non-stick surface. When you pour the batter, let it settle naturally. Avoid spreading it with the back of a spoon, because this can knock out some of the air you worked so hard to create. Let the pancake cook until you see bubbles forming on the surface. Those bubbles are a signal that the pancake is cooking through and that the interior is filling with air. Once the edges look set and the bubbles begin to pop, it is time to flip. Flipping is an art in itself. Use a wide spatula, slide it confidently under the pancake, and turn it in one smooth motion. And here is the golden rule: only flip once. Flipping multiple times deflates the pancake and can make it tough. Allow the second side to cook just long enough to achieve that golden brown color. As you continue cooking, stack your pancakes on a warm plate, covering them lightly with a clean towel to keep them soft until you are ready to serve. Now comes the part that excites most people: the toppings. Classic maple syrup is the obvious choice. Its rich, sweet flavor soaking into the layers of pancake. But pancakes are versatile and welcome endless creativity. Fresh berries, banana slices, a sprinkle of powdered sugar, a pat of melting butter, or even a drizzle of honey all bring their own character. For those who want indulgence, whipped cream, chocolate chips, or a swirl of peanut butter turn pancakes into a dessert-like treat. The beauty of making them at home is that you can customize them exactly to your taste. Another delightful thing about pancakes is how they can be adapted to any occasion. Want something wholesome? Add oats, whole wheat flour, or a handful of blueberries to your batter. Want something festive? Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, nutmeg, or even pumpkin puree for a seasonal twist. Pancakes are endlessly flexible, yet they always bring that same feeling of comfort. Making them from scratch teaches you not only how to control the flavor and texture, but also how to appreciate the simplicity of creating something with your own hands. There is also something very communal about pancakes. They are rarely made for one person alone. They are a food we share with family, friends, and guests. Picture the scene of a kitchen on a weekend morning with the smell of pancakes filling the air, children waiting excitedly at the table, or a loved one walking in with a smile at the sight of a tall stack ready to eat. Cooking pancakes becomes more than just preparing breakfast. It becomes a ritual of togetherness. That is why learning to make them well and learning to make them fluffy and satisfying feels like such an achievement. Now, beyond the traditional American style, there are even more ways to explore the concept of fluffiness. Japanese souffle pancakes, for example, push the idea of fluffiness to its extreme, becoming towering, jiggly creations that are more like eating a cloud than a traditional breakfast food. While they require a bit more technique and patience, they prove that once you understand the basics of pancake science, leavening, gentle mixing, you can expand into all sorts of exciting variations. Even if you stay with the classic American recipe, small adjustments can let you personalize your pancakes to perfection. Using cake flour instead of all-purpose flour will create a more tender crumb because of the lower gluten content. Allowing your batter to rest for 10 to 15 minutes before cooking lets the flour fully hydrate and gives the leavening agent a head start, leading to pancakes that rise more evenly. Adding yogurt to the batter brings creaminess, while a teaspoon of vanilla extract enhances the overall flavor. Each of these tweaks is small, yet each contributes to making the recipe uniquely yours. What I love most about pancakes is that they combine science with artistry. The science lies in understanding how the ingredients interact, how baking powder releases carbon dioxide, how acid and base react to create lift, how gluten forms when flour is mixed with liquid. The artistry lies in the feel, knowing when to stop stirring, sensing the right thickness of the batter, flipping at exactly the right moment, and layering flavors and toppings that please the eye as much as the palate. That blend of precision and creativity is what makes cooking pancakes such a rewarding experience. So, when you stand in your kitchen ready to make pancakes from scratch, remember that you are not just cooking. You are engaging in a tradition, you are playing with science, and you are creating something that brings happiness. Fluffy American pancakes may be simple, but when done well, they feel like a luxury. The ease of the recipe makes it approachable for beginners, while the little secrets and tweaks make it endlessly fascinating for those who love to perfect their cooking. Every time you whisk the batter, watch the bubbles rise on the griddle, or drizzle syrup over a stack, you are participating in one of the most comforting rituals food has to offer. Would you like me to also add rhetorical pauses and emphasis so it reads more like an oral delivery for a live speech?